Welcome to Constructing the Future podcast. I am your host, Rhianna Di Trapani. Here we celebrate industry leaders shaping the future of the construction industry. They have inspiring stories and insights to share, and we're so excited to be bringing them to you, the listeners. I'm a director of Virtual Civil Consulting, a remote-first company of experienced project managers, providing you with tender support by developing some kick-ass construction methodologies and staging plans, CMSs, you name it. Today, we have Jason Mckeown and Hayden Clinch from Yeti Services, who's absolutely killing it in the drainage space. Over to you, Jason and Hayden.
Yeah, thanks, Rhianna. So, Yeti Services, we're a civil drainage business based on the Sunshine Coast. We service southeast Queensland. We were knocking around, I think about a year ago, working for other people. Hayden's a qualified QBCC licensed plumber with about 17 years experience in the industry. He was site managing for Wollum Construction. I was at the time the sales manager for Civil Mart. And we just thought we'd had enough of working for everybody else, and out of that we birthed Yeti Services. So we've been operating now for over 13 months. And yeah, we were going to be residential plumbers initially, doing maintenance plumbing, and then we picked up our first contract with Stratum Civil, doing some in-ground stormwater installation, and then from there it just snowballed. We've now been doing work for Shadforth, Halls, Stratum, Wollum, Ozcare retirement facilities. So yeah, it's just continued to snowball.
That's fantastic. I am really curious about the name. Were you both drinking out of something Yeti oriented and went, "Yup, that's the name"?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped. I think it's a name that's quick, easy, flows off the tongue, and it's out there. Everybody knows the word Yeti because of the coolers. So, bit of free marketing.
Yeah,
It's easy.
Absolutely. No, love it. I love that you're like, yeah, I got sick of my day job and I'm just gonna go start my own business, and it looks like you guys are killing it. So I love that.
Yeah, no, it's been. I think we're just trying to diversify what we do. You know, like we're at the moment talking with the Sunshine Coast Regional Council. We're on there, signed up to Local Buy to become a preferred supplier. You know, we're engaging Cross River Rail to do installation of stormwater drainage there as well. We're looking to talk with like Diona with Unity Water sort of work. So we don't want to be fixed to one type of installation. We want to have our fingers in a few different pots, and then if one slows down, we can always rely on the other. So
Yeah, that's great. I guess diving into some of the questions, how did you get into this space really from the inception, and what keeps you guys going?
yeah, like I mean,
Well, I think our first big contract was with Stratum Civil, and Jason. That was one of Jason's contacts through his salesman career, and pretty much it was just consistent plugging and tapping into these guys, and they gave us a go. We did the first two jobs really well. That went straight on our CV sheet, and then we were straight into Halls and Shaddies, the two biggest civil contractors in southeast Queensland. So then it was just proving ourselves and proving to them we knew what we were doing. We could get the meters in and getting on to the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
that
there was
first
a
line is
timing.
so important.
yeah, and there was a lot of timing there, right? There was a skills shortage. That's where we saw that opportunity. At that time, they couldn't resource internally, so we've managed to actually fill that hole, and we've been pretty successful in finding guys. Like we went from, Hayden and another guy to having 17 on the roster now. So, and we're continually looking to. We could have more guys. It's just it's finding them. So yeah, that's probably our only challenge at the moment. Is just finding skilled pipe layers, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how important that first sale is, and I know JC, your background's in sales, but can you talk a little bit about how you, I guess, got that first gig?
Yeah, I mean, so pretty much at the time I was, I still am, I own a block out in Canungra in the Gold Coast hinterland. And I was out there at the time, and we were starting to throw around the inception of Yeti Services. And like it took 6 months of us getting to launch stage where at night we're up all night till 11 o'clock at night, punching in,
Numbers.
People that we can talk to. I think I spent like a good 3 nights. I downloaded every real estate's contact details because we were going to be maintenance plumbers. So anyway, I'm out of Canungra and I see this Stratum Civil ute out there, and I happen to know Tim Cowling through Civil Mart. I gave him a call and just sort of said, how are you looking for resources as far as installation? Me and my business partner, we're starting to do this, and it was just a real good timing thing. He was like, great, I need blokes up at Burpengary, I'll take you tomorrow. At that point, we hadn't figured out what we were going to do yet, because sort of residential plumbing market is there's a lot there. Like, I don't envy residential plumbers at all. You've got to have 5 jobs every day, 5 days a week, and then you've got to do it again the next week, where we can just send our guys to one site for 2 months and set and forget. So yeah, we got that job with Tim Cowling. We were pretty fortunate in that because we were new, we were going in at day rate. We didn't actually have to provide linear meter rate because we had no idea what we could do yet.
I don't know how long it's going to take me.
Yeah. So it's like and a lot of the business has been really good, like in letting us be at day rate, because they're aware that they don't want us to go in at meter rate and be gone the next month, and then we're no good to them as a subby. So, but that's kind of how we got started. And then from Stratum, reached out to Dan Gray, who at the time was the general manager for Hall Contracting. We had a sit down with Alex Bruard and Nick there, and they gave us the Palmwoods Sundale Retirement Village. And then from there we jumped over to Aura, which is the biggest subdivision in Queensland, and we started doing the installation of the stormwater work for the emergency services area, while you were down at Burpengary for Halls doing another Stockies retirement facility down there, right?
Yeah, another subdivision.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and that's just continually snowballed again. Like, it's been really handy from a business perspective. You've got Hayden in the operational, very across everything that you need to do from inception to delivery of program, to me having some key contacts in that civil space where I can reach out to the likes of Cross River Rail. Yeah. We're a small civil subdivisional contractor, and we're going to be pricing works to Cross River Rail. Like, it's we're pretty fortunate in how we go to market, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. I love hearing that it's, all of these relationships that you've built through the years, that's really coming to, fruition now. Congrats guys. It sounds awesome. It sounds like you've managed to find this little niche in the market that you're really filling a gap for. Can you speak a little bit to that, and maybe some of the innovation or innovative things that you are doing?
You're 100% right. It is a full niche in the market, and I think on the sunny coast there's something like 20 to 25,000 registered plumbers.
Wow.
But these guys, most of them are too scared to delve into these areas, which opens up the biggest hole for us, because we were there ready to go, take the punt, and it's played off. We've done a few jobs for huge contractors, our names out there, and pretty much we're just answering phone calls as well as Jason's making a few calls. So yeah, it's you're right. It's a proper niche and an area where a lot of blokes don't want to go. The Cross River Rail, which Jason's talking about, is a massive project which deters nearly 90% of the contractors, I reckon, because it's so big. And we were in there. We had a big site meeting with them yesterday.
Yeah, big site walk through there.
When you lay it down, it's actually quite simple. Drainage is drainage.
Right.
It's just having the skill set, and I guess the balls to get in there and do it. So yeah, that's what I think anyway.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. I love that you're just not afraid to call up whoever you need to call up, or just go in for whatever jobs you want to go for. It's like, it is what it is. How would you say, or rather, what are some of the biggest challenges you would say the industry is facing at the moment, particularly from what you're seeing?
The industry as such, I'd say resources is a huge one. Finding competent workers, keeping those workers. It's such an employees market at the moment. Every big contractor you talk to, it's all, I can't find machine operators, I can't find pipe layers, I can't find truck drivers. The work's there, but the blokes aren't. Yeah. That's my findings. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think we've just been fortunate in over the course of 12 months, we may have hired 30 people, but we've narrowed that down to that 17, and it is really hard. Like, people will apply for jobs saying they are excavator operators, and they might have got their ticket yesterday. You know, like it's finding skilled staff and then actually looking after that skilled staff. We'd like to think we have a pretty good working sort of relationship with all of our guys. A really good sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Culture,
yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
We sort of one step ahead to most businesses. You know, we see value in our employees.
Okay, great. I guess, other than paying people well, is there anything specifically that you're doing to find really good people, or, cast the net a bit wider to, I guess, fix the resource?
Look, as far as finding people, like, we found, like, through Seek, we weren't really having much success. If you go through a recruitment agency, you're normally paying like 1.5 times the value of that particular employee. So, we're on all socials finding people. We're actually getting a lot of recommendations through our current employees. So they'll say, hey, it's really good to work for Yeti Services. Do you want to come over and meet the guys? So that's where we've had a fair bit of success. Just through word of mouth is how we're finding a lot of people. Like I said, though, we could be taking on another 20 people tomorrow and still not fill that void in the market at the moment.
Yeah. Wow. I think this resourcing issue is everywhere. We're even seeing it here in Texas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Wow.
Can't find people for anything, whether it be the highly skilled jobs or no skill at all. So I don't know how I'm going to fix that problem, but
it's crazy.
Maybe we go global Yeti Services.
Yeah.
Send drainers over to Texas.
No, look, this has been awesome. I probably want to wrap up with just a couple more questions.
Sure.
What, I guess, would be your future vision for this space? Where are you hoping that this industry goes? How are you hoping to where are you hoping to take the business? Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I think if we can keep growing in this area of plumbing/drainage, that's kind of like a specialised field, we will become one of those preferred contractors that you won't even get asked to price jobs. It'll be, right, Yeti's doing this, away you go. Purely off the back of the previous jobs we've done. That's the field I want to get into, and same with the council. You become one of those preferred contractors doing the big scary jobs. Not as such doing taking on the whole subdivision, doing the bulk earthworks, but more the trickier, more delicate, specialised drainage works and sewer mains and pump stations and really, really good money and margin in those, because no one else wants to do it. So that's my goal anyway.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I think unless you're growing, you're dying, right? So it's we want to be, I think ambition is a good thing for us. We're really keen in getting into every space. You're not seeing residential plumbers going and talking across your rail in live rail alignment, putting in stormwater pipe. They're no interest in it. And like Hayden said, ultimately, you take away that aspect, you're just putting pipe in the ground, and it's how you manage your safety, and then from there, it's easy. So we want to really diversify what we do, train up our staff and retain our staff so that we can deliver those like tricky projects, and from there have different divisions and end up ultimately being those preferred service providers. So
yeah, that's great, and wish you guys all the best of luck. I want to wrap up with one last question. And this is a bit of a fun one that I want to ask everyone at the end. What is some advice or encouragement you would give someone looking to enter or begin their journey in civil or construction, or what's some advice you wish you could give your younger self?
Yeah, I think mine's from, I guess, a buddy of ours, and he's very, very smart. And, he just sort of said to me, the difference between me and you, Jace, is I actually do it. So if you actually have an idea, back yourself in and just do it. Because if you continually talk about it, nothing's going to happen. So you just do it. That's the difference between us and someone else thinking about it. We've just done it. So that's it.
Love it. Hayden?
Yeah, that's a good one. He's my friend as well, and he's a bit of a mentor for us. He's doing really well, but yeah, I think for me, I got to a point where I was a site manager for a big building company, building big buildings, and I was looking at these contractors coming in, just going, if they can do it, I can do it, and started putting some pieces of the puzzle together, and all of a sudden, we're out there. You just got to take the plunge. That's it. Don't worry about the repercussions. Just go for it. If you're a skilled, qualified, smart person, if it doesn't work, you'll always get that job back.
Yeah. What's the worst that's going to happen?
What's the worst?
You're going to go back and work for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always going to have that quality to get back into a good job. You might lose 12 months, but you had to go.
That's it.
Yeah. Love it. That's perfect advice. Thank you so much, Jason and Hayden, for being here and speaking with me today and for being on the podcast. It's been so much fun. And thank you to the listeners. See you next time.